Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. UFC 266 is right around the corner, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of prediction videos for the fight card. I'm so excited for this fight card. There are so many notable fights on it, but this is going to be my full breakdown and prediction for Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Calvillo, a women's flyweight fight. It opens up the pay-per-view main card, and this is probably my least favorite fight on the pay-per-view portion of the card, but it's still a decent fight. I mean, Jessica Andrade is currently ranked number one in the division. Cynthia is currently ranked number five. So it is a very relevant fight in terms of the division. And when you have a division that's reigned over by such a dominant champ in Valentina Shevchenko, if you haven't fought her yet, you're only one win away from potentially getting a title shot. We've seen that in the past. And there's a very good chance that if Calvillo can somehow pull off a win over Jessica Andrade, she could be next in line for a title shot just because she has not fought Valentina Shevchenko before. So if you look at this fight, I feel like most people think of it as the young up-and-comer in Cynthia Calvillo versus Jessica Andrade, the veteran. She's been around forever. She was women's flyweight champion or women's strawweight champion at one point in time. But that's really not the case. And I cannot believe this. When I saw it, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. Calvillo is 4 years older than Jessica Andrade. She is 34 years old. Andrade is 30 years old. So really, Calvillo, it's now or never. If she ever wants to be champion, I mean, she's in the middle of her 30s, and people usually say the prime is around the middle of the 30s. I don't know if that's going to be different for a women's flyweight fighter, but I feel like as you get older, you're going to slow down. Speed is a massive issue when it comes to being in the flyweight division. And she used to fight at strawweight, and so did Jessica Andrade. She had trouble. She was missing weight. She had to eventually take catch weights and stuff like that. And she finally decided to move up to flyweight. So if you look at her last few fights, her last fight was against Caitlin Chukagian. And really, she just had no success in that fight. She lost all 3 rounds, in my opinion. Chukagian was just able to outstrike her on the feet. Cynthia was never able to really close the distance, get any type of clinch going on or any wrestling takedowns. She wasn't able to ever get really any offense. She had some moments on the feet where she was able to land hard punches, but it was so few and far between. It really did not make a difference in the fight. Chukagian just beat her all 3 rounds dominantly. So then you look at her fight before that. She fought Jessica Eye. And in that fight, Jessica Eye had her moments and was winning in the striking department a little bit. And Cynthia mainly relied on her wrestling in that fight. She took her down, beat her up on the ground, and just won, I think it was 3 or 4 rounds, just purely based off her grappling and wrestling. Before that, she had a draw to Marina Rodriguez. Before that, Courtney Casey, she beat by decision. Her other most notable opponent was Carla Esparza back in 2017 at UFC 219, where she lost by decision. So every time she's fought someone that we feel like, could contend for a title, when you look at Carla Esparza, she could be contending for a title in the strawweight division. Caitlin Chukagian has fought for the title before and lost. Every time she has that step up in competition, she loses. And I think, looking through her resume, Jessica Andrade is the toughest test of her entire career. I mean, Jessica Andrade, you look at her past, and she's coming off a loss as well. And what's even crazier, she has lost 3 of her last 4. Yes, Jessica Andrade has lost 3 of her last 4. She used to fight as strawweight as well. She's the former strawweight champion. She beat Rose Namajunas in a fight she was losing. Rose Namajunas went for a submission of some sort. I think it was an armbar or a triangle. Jessica Andrade slammed her on her head and put her out cold, won the women's strawweight title. Then she went on to fight Weili Zhang, and we all know how that fight went. Weili Zhang just absolutely destroyed her in the first round. Then she went on to rematch Rose Namajunas, and had this fight been a 5-round fight, there is no doubt in my mind Jessica Andrade would have won this fight. Rose Namajunas won the first 2 rounds, but she started to accumulate damage from that power of Jessica Andrade. And really, everything started to go downhill from there. Jessica Andrade won the 3rd round. She really busted Rose up, busted up her nose. And look where Rose is now. Rose is the current champion. If I'm Jessica Andrade and I lose this fight, I probably try to make my way back down to strawweight. After that is when she decided to move up to flyweight. She fought Caitlin Chukagian as well, so they have an opponent in common. And I know MMA math doesn't always work, but Chukagian beat Cynthia Calvillo just recently, and Jessica Andrade just beat Caitlin Chukagian pretty recently as well, October of 2020. So their most recent fights, Jessica Andrade has a win over the same person that beat Cynthia Calvillo. Now, most recently, Jessica Andrade had a terrible performance against Valentina Shevchenko. But whoever looks good against Valentina Shevchenko, she's one of the best female fighters of all time. I think you could make a case that she arguably beat Amanda Nunes twice. I personally want to see Valentina Shevchenko versus Amanda Nunes 3. I think that's the fight the majority of fans want to see right now in the women's division. But Valentina seems content beating up people at 125. Nunes seems content fighting who she's fighting. Neither one of them are really calling for it. But in that fight versus Valentina Shevchenko, I feel like you can take a couple things and look at it and then apply it to this fight. I feel like Cynthia Calvillo, her best path to victory against Jessica Andrade is going to be able to wrestle her and take her down, ground and pound her, grapple her. But I just don't think that, based on what I saw in the Valentina Shevchenko fight, that Cynthia is going to be able to do that. Because if you look back at the Valentina Shevchenko fight, and I know people are thinking, what are you talking about? Valentina Shevchenko absolutely dominated Jessica Andrade on the ground. But Jessica Andrade, especially in the early, first round, in the early exchanges, was able to hold her own. Valentina was able to get her down, but Jessica Andrade was able to make her way back to her feet, and even in some instances, outmuscle Valentina Shevchenko against the cage. Now, we all know what happened. Eventually, Valentina Shevchenko just kept taking her down and taking her down. I think she might have got 6, 7 takedowns. She eventually worked her way to a crucifix and ground and pound her, brutalized her with elbows, and finished the fight. TKO'd, I believe it was in the second round. But look at the level Valentina Shevchenko's at. Her grappling is amazing. I don't feel like Cynthia Calvillo's grappling is on the same level as Valentina Shevchenko. And Jessica Andrade was able to hold her own early on in the fight. She was able to get up quite a few times off of Valentina's takedowns. And so that leads me to believe that I think Jessica Andrade will win this fight. Now, how does Jessica Andrade win this fight? My official prediction is Jessica Andrade by first round KO. And the reason I say that is because I think Jessica Andrade, even though she plots forward, she throws power punches, she's not super technical. She's a little, she can wade in the danger a little bit too much. But Calvillo does not have the power to put her out. And Calvillo is very hittable herself. If Jessica Andrade can connect, I really believe she can put Cynthia Calvillo out. And Cynthia, I believe, is going to be trying to close the distance, look for the clinch, look for the takedown. And I just believe she doesn't have the muscle to outmuscle Jessica Andrade. I just don't think she has it. And as she gets desperate for those takedowns and those clinches, I believe she's going to leave herself susceptible to the striking, and I think Jessica Andrade is going to find her chin and just put her to sleep. I think this is a massive step up for Cynthia Calvillo just because the depth of the women's flyweight division just doesn't exist. The division isn't that good. Cynthia Calvillo is ranked number 5, but really, what does that mean in such a lackluster division? It doesn't mean a whole lot. Jessica Andrade, even though she got brutalized by the champ, is a great women's flyweight fighter. Regardless if she'll never beat the champion. She was the champion at strawweight. She's a big, thick, strong girl with nasty power. One of the few women, in the UFC that has knockout power. She's finished multiple people. She finished Caitlin Jukagian with a body shot. So, with Cynthia Calvillo, she's sloppy. She's getting pieced up by Caitlin Jukagian. If Jessica Andrade can hit her the way that Chukagian did, Jessica Andrade is putting her out without a doubt. I'm 100% certain of that. Jessica Andrade has always reminded me of a women version of John Lineker. I love the way she rips the hook to the body. I love when she does incorporate leg kicks, even though she doesn't do it that much. She's very powerful. She can pick people up, slam. I would not doubt if she has the grappling advantage in this fight because she's just so big and so strong. To even be able to find her way to her feet against Valentina Shevchenko and then muscle Valentina Shevchenko, her back against the cage, just shocked me. And I just really believe if she can do that to her, I think she can win in all aspects of this fight. So I honestly think no matter how this fight goes, Jessica Andrade wins this fight, whether it's by decision, whether it's by KO, TKO. I got Jessica Andrade. I always like to tell you guys how confident I am in my picks. I would say 90% I pick Jessica Andrade. I just don't see where Cynthia can beat her unless Jessica Andrade gets sloppy with a takedown, gets caught in some type of submission or something like that. I just don't see that happening. I just really don't. I just see, Cynthia trying to come in, close the distance, use her grappling against Andrade. She's going to say, okay, well, Valentina did it. I'm going to try to do the same thing. I'm a good wrestler. I'm a good grappler. It ain't going to work. It just is not going to work. Valentina is a legit 125er. She fought at 135, had plenty of success. And Cynthia Calvillo is kind of a blown up 115 pounder. You know, she could never make weight there, but she's probably not big enough for 125, where Andrade is just super thick and big and strong. And so I just really don't think Calvillo has a chance. I think she's going to get brutalized in this fight, and I'm fairly confident in that. Do me a favor, guys. If you enjoy these prediction videos, make sure to like the video. It really helps the channel. Any of my other predictions for UFC 266, if I have them done yet, I will put the links in the description, so make sure you guys go check those out as well. Comment down below and let me know your prediction for this fight. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.